Welcome back to the College of Tuber Studies. Today we're talking about managing audience feedback. I've made a video about managing negative comments and the haters. But this video is more about generally, how do you look at your audience and how they're reacting to your videos and then decide what to do with your channel. Audience feedback is valuable because it is showing how is what I'm putting out there being received. And there's always this thing of, I have this intent of what I'm trying to do with my video, what I'm trying to get out there, and how I hope the audience will receive it and how they will feel. Now, the audience feedback is to see, did I get that? Did they take this video for what I thought it was? Or did they get something else out of it? Or did they not like it for some reason? Did they find something? Was there an obstacle to their enjoyment of the video? Such as maybe the comments are coming back at you like the sound was too low, or I didn't understand what you meant. Or maybe on the other hand, they're like, this is great, give me more stuff like this. And what you're trying to do when you're looking at your comments is to see, do they have any valuable feedback for how I can improve? Are they liking this video and should I make more like this? And are there other things that they might like to see that they're giving me ideas for? What you're trying to do, it's building an audience on YouTube is in some ways, pardon me, it's in some ways like building a deck of cards, because you don't know, building a house of cards, you don't know what people are going to react to. You start making videos aiming for a particular audience, but you might not get that audience. And as you pick up and assemble your audience, they might not want you to go in the exact same direction that you want to go. So what do? Do you just throw it all over to what they want? I think one of the best things you can do is to stick to what you want to do. You're the one who makes the decisions, but be very aware of what the audience is feeling about it. Be very aware of that. Use your analytics to help you with making these decisions. If you go into Creative Studio, go to Analytics. When you're a smaller channel, it can be a little less helpful, but you can see views, how many views a video gets. You can see audience engagement, and audience retention is the biggest thing. If you have 5,000 views on a video, but your audience retention drops below 50%, a minute into a 10-minute video, that's not a great sign. What you want to see is, where does the 50% mark happen? It's really good if that happens later in the video, especially halfway through the video or later is generally where you want the audience retention to hit 50%. And you can also look at relative audience retention, which isn't giving you the hard percentage, but it's saying, is this average, above average? And you want your audience retention to be around average or above average. And what you can do is see what points in the video did I lose the audience retention? And what was I doing then? What did I start talking about, or what was happening? Where was I looking? And then you can realize, oh, I need to switch this around for next time. Don't get too caught up in it, because you'll drive yourself crazy trying to keep it all straight. But you can look at, oh, I noticed that the audience retention dropped off at this one point where it sounded like I was wrapping up the video, like I had given them the answer to the question that the video posed, and no one stuck around for my meandering 2 minutes after that. Or maybe you're like, wow, I had a long tangent towards the beginning of the video and I lost a lot of people because they got bored. Those are good things to know. That's kind of an indirect audience feedback mechanism, because the people aren't telling you directly that, oh, this was boring, but you can see based on where they stopped watching the video. Then you look at the comments and you see, what are people saying about the video, and are they giving you ideas for other videos? Don't let them direct what you do, though. An audience doesn't want you to do that. An audience wants you to listen to them, but they don't want you to be like, what do you want to hear next? What do you want me to make a video about next? They don't like the responsibility of coming up with that stuff. They want you to do that listening to them a little bit so that it's not like you're totally tuning them out. But an audience feels much more comfortable with a creator who seems to know what they want to do. And it's almost like the audience has to kind of correct what you're already doing rather than totally tell you what to do. You know what I mean? So maybe I always use cooking channels as an example, maybe because I like food so much. But you're cooking, you make a video about how to make a pie, and then you make another video about how to make meatballs. And people respond much more to the pie one than they do the meatballs one. So you're like, well, clearly my audience likes, well, it's not clear, but it's like, it seems like my audience likes stuff about dessert and baking more. So then you try out in another video, let me try baking something else. But it's really only if you wanted to do that in the first place. If you had no intention of ever doing baking again, don't suddenly switch everything you're doing if you have no interest in it. But have some flexibility, you know? Have the ability to say, well, that wasn't my idea at first, but I think I could make this work, so let me focus more on this and see how my audience reacts. You've always got to be tuning in to see, what is my audience thinking about this? So ultimately it's a balancing act. You see, what are they responding to? What do they like? What do they want you to do? But you have to keep it tempered with, most importantly, what do you want to do? What interests you? What excites you? Because that's why they're watching. They're watching because you're the leader. You're the one making the videos. You're the one with the ideas. They're just there to kind of give you a few suggestions, and maybe you'll take them, maybe you won't. Don't lose sight of that. Don't let the audience take control. And I would say, don't even ask the audience directly, what do they want to see next? Maybe if you have some ideas, or you can ask them, but don't actually be asking them. You know, it's like, hey, what do you guys want to see next? I'd be up for suggestions, but don't be like, what do you guys want to do next? I'll do that. Just tell me what to do. Do you see the difference there? You're in charge. Don't forget it. But you have to you're riding a wave. You're like, what do they want to see? What is the audience? When do I lose the audience? What can I do to up my craft? When are they losing interest? And how can I keep their interest? And sometimes you have to sacrifice it if it's like, the audience really wants me to go this direction, but I don't want to go that direction, so don't go that direction. On my channel, on my main channel, talking about typology, I get requests to do videos about other types. I'll make videos about the INFJ personality, and people say, hey, why don't you make one about INTPs? And I don't want to do that. It's not part of what I think is good for the channel, even though I'm sure a lot of people would like it. That's an example from my own primary channel of me taking the lead and being like, okay, I see kind of what you want, but I've got to want it first. I've got to, it's my channel. I'm the leader here. Even in the early days, don't listen too much to the audience, but be listening. Don't take all your direction from them is what I'm saying. That's it for this video. Tune in next time at the College of Tuber Studies.